There are two topics particularly close to my heart that deserve clarity. No filters, no mincing words, just getting straight to the heart of the matter without any beating around the bush or endless chatter. First, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today is Wednesday, October 15th. I'm very happy, and I'll say it here without filters, that the breaks and stoppages for the national teams are over. We'll have another month now, then we'll dive into some truly exciting situations. I want to dedicate a video to Gattuso for what he's doing, for the man he is, for the commitment he's showing, unlike so many other storytellers, charlatans I call them, who've shown nothing. When they should have focused on the team, they prioritize personal narratives. But the two things that are close to my heart concern Pulisic and Yildiz, because I simply find it absurd. We should put an end to this. Instead of thinking about playing Milan, Como in Perth, or Barcelona across the world, or just cashing in, they should consider the economic and technical damage they inflict on clubs. What Pochettino did is technically unsustainable, unacceptable, unjustifiable. Using a player like Pulisic in a meaningless game. The United States against Australia, a friendly, a pointless match. What's the point if you have clear objectives? Furthermore, a player already at risk, who'd had ankle problems, whom you could easily rest or send home. You use him, and muscular issues emerge. It's only natural that if you're not fully fit, you're at greater risk, and the situation becomes untenable. So let's try to write concrete, serious pages on real topics, not on nonsense. Worrying about scraping together 3, 4, 5 million. The significant financial losses a club incurs due to a national coach's reckless utilization, in my considered opinion. Please do the calculations. If you have a spare moment to go online, you will see, you will understand just how many national team players have unfortunately been sidelined. But if I have to play a decisive match for my club's history, I completely understand you might even push someone who's slightly injured, recovering, or had recent difficulties. But if you're playing a meaningless game, we need rules that state Mr. Pulisic playing a friendly against Australia, which results in a different but foreseeable injury given his past issues, should stay on the bench in the stands, or ideally return to Italy. It seems so logical to me that since FIFA and UEFA only talk about money, when there's no benefit for the clubs, this is something that additionally they've mishandled. You lose two important players for Milan Fiorentina, which is no ordinary match, and you lose two of your most informed men. Does that seem right to you? It doesn't seem right to me, and not because it happens to Milan rather than Inter, Juve, Torino, Lazio, or Roma. Speaking of which, I'd like to interview the Lazio doctor and ask him how it's possible to have 7 players with muscle strains and for him not to be worried. It's like an art gallerist not being worried if 7 paintings are taken from him. How can you not be worried? But that's another kettle of fish. So I think this is a topic to be discussed in detail because it's a topic that causes irritation, but unfortunately repeats systematically, creating absurd damage. The other topic, which I think is also a bit overemphasized, but precisely to remove the emphasis, we should tackle this problem head on and solve it. When I hear about Yildiz, about the various temptations, about the undeniable fact that there's a significant gap of 700, even 800,000 euros between the demand and the offer for the contract extension, I honestly think I'm on Mars. All jokes aside, of course. I believe that such a discussion is not feasible. And above all, the current salary ranking is not even acceptable. With all due respect to Perin, Yildiz today earns 200,000-300,000 euros more than Perin. It cannot be done. It should have been done earlier. And perhaps it should also be backdated when an agreement is reached, and these funds should be valid from the past. Because if you say, you are my number 10, my present, my future, my light, my star, I entrust you with all responsibilities because I know you can handle them. Having important technique, brilliant moves, a refined class, but then you also have to maintain them from a practical economic salary point of view. All the others arrived and earned more than Yildiz. Gatti, you've locked in his contract and he earns over 3 million, but with all due respect, Kalulu, Kessi, literally everyone. So I think Juventus has a duty to resolve this matter before it becomes a poem Let's call it a poem in quotes, because it's true that last January, especially Jorge Mendes had activated to propose situations guaranteeing Juve a triple-digit figure. A figure that I know was even over 100 million to take Yildiz elsewhere. Even then there was Chelsea. But since then, the world has changed. You've given him the hypothetical armband, meaning he can potentially be your captain, your symbol on the field. And he takes on responsibilities that aren't entirely his own. He often plays on the wings, which is a position he is quite familiar with. He should be utilized much better. As a second striker, he could truly excel and contribute significantly to the team's success. He'd be devastating. Closer to goal, even more lethal. I covered this topic in a previous video, but now I want to focus solely on his contract situation. Let's close this matter. They've thrown so much money out the window, avoiding arguments over 500, 700, 800, 900, or 1,000 euros more or less. I think it's an essential step, almost an obligatory one, an existential step, if you will. I'll give you an example. Juventus paid monstrous, hyperbolic, absurd, senseless sums for Arthur. Do you remember? And now they probably hope to definitively end the relationship, because otherwise the risk of continuing to pay exists. Do you remember Arthur's salary? So a loan is payable at 50, 60, 80%, but he had to play and you paid. I could give you 5 or 6 other examples of money literally thrown off the balcony. But you didn't even look to see where it went because you completely gave it away. So let's get to the moral, to the point. This matter needs to be closed. We need to understand his importance. And from my perspective, it might seem trivial, but everyone looks at the money. In this famous ranking, Yildiz shouldn't be in the relegation zone alongside, with all due respect, Perin and others, surpassed and overshadowed by them. He needs to be in the Scudetto zone, the Champions League zone. He should be among the top 2, top 3, maybe even first, for what you said he can give you and how you've decided to invest in him. So the international break is also for these things. I'm convinced Juventus will try to definitively close this discussion. It's time for renewals. Fiorentina has secured Mandragora, but that's another topic, one that started in July. I never spoke to you about other clubs then, simply because other clubs were mentioned, but Fiorentina and Mandragora decided to continue working and carry on their partnership for a while longer, and they will, because the contract expires in 2028 with a possible option. But this is a different discussion compared to a simple concept. Sometimes you've thrown money out the window. This time you simply have to give it to him because you've decided that he, Yildiz, is your light and you must make him shine. And with actions, as I believe Juventus will do without wasting any more time. I await your comments. Thank you for your attention, and I especially look forward to seeing you very soon with a new video on my YouTube channel. Bye, friends.